Good morning. I am Karen Kushner, and I am speaking to you while those who are physically present at our Masonic Center for our morning's get together are there doing a new experiment, which is a gathering together of people, not doing a regular service, but actually having an experience together and relating with each other. And so they're doing that for the first time, and the focus is on peace. So while that's going on, I have a few thoughts that I'd like to share with you, and also thinking within myself about this divine quality of peace. So let me begin with a spiritual mind treatment. This word is being spoken for each one. And if you would like to include someone else in this prayer, just think of their name now and know that they are included. And if you would like to include some place on earth or situation, just think of the name of that right now and know that it is all included, because I am recognizing an infinite mind that is everywhere present. It is infinitely intelligent, and it knows all, and it creates all that it knows. And so for each one, this divine mind is knowing itself with perfect peace. This infinite mind is knowing and creating each one in a particular way, but in that creation, the idea of each one in the mind of God is in complete harmony and peace with every other idea in the mind of God, with every other creation. Perfect peace exists in the thinking of the mind of God. There are no two adverse ideas in the mind of God, no two ideas in conflict and opposition. The divine does not and cannot destroy itself. And so the infinite mind, in thinking of each one, is thinking in harmony, in peace with all of its other thoughts, all of its other ideas, all of its other forms. And that is the divine thinking of each one. And that divine thought, it is possible for each one to contemplate. And so, through the activity of the infinite mind's highest thinking of itself, each one is receiving right now the ideas, the thoughts, the stream of consciousness that brings each one into an experience of thinking, an experience of one's contemplation, which is more harmonious, more peaceful, more happy and serene than he or she has ever known before. The truth is revealed, and this truth, being God, is all good, and that truth sets each one free of any confusion or disturbance in their thought. I am grateful that this is the truth. I let this word go to the law. That truth brings crystal clarity to each one's thinking. It is done, and so it is. And so I have long contemplated the idea that in theory, it is possible that one creation of the divine, one human being, one person could possibly become so at peace within one's own self that world peace would instantly manifest. We have people who certainly approached that level of consciousness, and tremendous changes happened in the world because of it. And when I say this, I'm making this claim based upon the spiritual truth that each one of us is an expression of that which is infinite. And in some way, the infinite is contained within ourselves. And so as we turn toward the infinite, in the way that the infinite is harmonious, peaceful, love, joy. As we do that more and more, when we identify with that which is, always knowing perfect peace, and bring our living in this world into that divine, peaceful knowing, the world is affected. In other words, all of us are part of the human consciousness, and all of us are affecting the consciousness of humanity. And so our thoughts matter. And for most people, their thoughts are pretty much what everyone's been thinking all along. But to those who are determined to think a higher thought than has ever been thought before, this higher thought affects humanity in some tremendous way. So we have the science of mind teaching, contemplated with New Thought people over a century ago. And in this day, in this time, we are seeing this teaching of the science of mind, this New Thought, this change your thinking, change your life philosophy, talked about by everybody. Not just those who are in the centers for spiritual living, but everyone is saying, what you put out there is what you get. And so this is a wonderful thing. So our thought matters. Let's turn to then peace of mind. There is that song that is so popular in New Thought circles. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. And so we want to realize that the real problem that we have with the world out there is the thoughts that rise up in our own mind when we look at that world, right? How many of us can view a news article that is not the way we thought the world should be or is, and found ourselves greatly disturbed by it? That's a sign that our peace of mind is affected by what's going on in the world. But when we realize that our world is a projection of what we ourselves are thinking and believing, then we don't need to have the world change to change our thought. We can change our thought. And eventually, maybe, our world will change. So our topic is a house divided against itself cannot stand. And today, being the day before Rosh Hashanah on my calendar, it is a day filled with potential about self-reflection, about thinking about how you're thinking, about thinking about ourselves and doing a review of our past year and how have we been thinking about ourselves and what is showing up in our world. And upon the completion of this self-reflection period, starting fresh, starting new. And we have Yom Kippur coming up, which is that day of forgiveness, atonement for all that we have done. In other words, we've done a complete review of ourselves and we want to start fresh, and we begin by forgiveness. So starting with this review of ourselves, when we're talking about peace of mind, we mean peace in every thought with every other thought, and peace in our emotions, which are dense thoughts affecting in our body, and we feel it. And then there's our actions, as well as our outer circumstances. So when I talk about peace of our mind, peace in my mind, peace in your mind, I mean peace on all these levels. Peace in our thinking, in our conscious mind, peace in our emotions, peace in our actions, and peace in our circumstances. And for this to occur, we have to get really clear about what disturbs our peace. And so we want to notice what is out of sync. So I've read a little bit of Neville in his book, The Power of Awareness, and he said something very interesting. He was talking about someone who really changed their circumstances by visualizing for 8 straight days a completely different experience, completely different environment that he wanted to have. But what he said was, for these 8 days that he was visualizing, he said, for 8 days, this person's objective experience continued to be directly opposite to his subjective experience and consciousness, to his visualization that he was doing. In other words, there was not peace. There was his consciousness that he was visualizing the experience he wanted to have, and the outer was in opposition to that. So there was not total peace, but this person continued practicing what he wanted to experience instead, regardless of the outer appearance. And on the 9th day, his outer appearance changed to what he had been visualizing. And so peace of mind requires us to develop the mental ability, facility to see that which we desire to experience in our outer world, regardless of what our outer world is doing. So our outer world, when we look at the news, when we listen to our neighbors, or even our outer world as far as our physical bodies might go, might all be shouting with facts. The facts may be something that we do not desire in our hearts. And what Neville is pointing out to us, as well as the science of mind, that judge not by appearances, or that which you have set in your mind to experience for yourself. Do not let it be disturbed by seeing the evidence, the facts to the contrary. Just because the conditions in our world are not agreeing with our heart is no reason to give up our peaceful claiming of the good that we desire. So, today, Saturday, I had an experience. I was at Reverend Rhea Carroll's ordination. Absolutely wonderful. And while I was there, I was seeing longtime friends, people that I hadn't seen in a long time. We were greeting each other. We were having a wonderful time. And I was just flying so high. I was just so overjoyed to see Reverend Rhea Carroll, accept her ordination. So delighted to see that, to be a part of it, and to see everyone and how well they were doing. And with one friend, as I was saying goodbye, it turned out into probably a half an hour monologue, I think, almost, of me sharing my hopes and my dreams for my future. And I was just so thrilled with everything. And as I got to my car, finally, to start driving home, I took my phone off of Do Not Disturb, and immediately it rang. And it rang from someone I didn't expect, who was giving me this news that something wonderful that I had desired and I had asked for was going to happen. And I'll share more about that, in the months to come. But the feeling of gratitude that I had, joy that I had. It was beyond, it was beyond my normal state of joy. I'm driving home 45 minutes, and I am just imagining this new experience I'm going to have. I'm going over what was said to me on the phone, I was marveling at how much joy I was feeling from the moment the day started, preparing for seeing my friends, for seeing Reverend Rhea, wrapping her little gift, just having all that come together. And then to top it off with this wonderful promise of something terrific in the future. And I had that thought, how much joy, it's amazing. And then I thought of something I said to one of my friends that I regretted saying. I swear. Filled with joy, alone in my car, and when I recognized how strange it was for me to have this whole new level of joy and love and happiness and gratitude, boom came this thought, you said something you should not have said. I bet you hurt her feelings. That was your ego talking. You ruined it. You ruined the whole thing for her. Well, the joy was gone. And I felt horrible because now I was thinking about this comment that I made that I wish I hadn't made. And I didn't know what to do. So my peace was disturbed. And I thought about it because I had this talk that I was also preparing in my mind as I went throughout my day. And so here I was in this wonderful, over here, this wonderful experience of joy, and these horrible thoughts about myself, all within the same car. The radio wasn't on. There was nothing from the world that entered in. I mean, it wasn't like I passed a sign saying repent and it made me think, oh yeah, you shouldn't have said that. It followed that thought, wow, how much joy I'm feeling. That moving from feeling the joy to reflecting, I am so joyous, to, and you shouldn't have said that thing. Well, what was I to do? So when I saw that, I thought, Karen, you were having such an experience of abundant joy, nothing changed, and now you're totally desolated. The only thing that changed was your thought. You can change it back. Well, I couldn't just, well, now let me think about this happy thing. It wasn't working. I needed a spiritual practice. And so I did the quick stop prayer. And so here it is. You got to slap your hands together. It's like Cher in that movie Moonstruck. Snap out of it. So snap out of it. So I clapped my hands together and I said, stop. I do not believe in lies. And you see, the lies were, I'm bad, I'm horrible, I said something that hurt someone else, I wrecked the whole party. No, stop. I do not believe in lies. I believe in the truth of God. God, the all good. Truth is all good. I believe in the truth. And I then did a spiritual mind treatment for the person that I said this thing to, that nothing I could have said could have hurt or disturbed this person in any way. And I showered this person with love and with blessings. And I erased any memory, any recording, anything that to the contrary from that person's consciousness and life, that only good, only blessings happen to that person, and that I cannot affect it or take it away in any way. And then I moved right from that into a spiritual mind treatment for myself. How dare I believe that I would say something mean? And so I did a treatment to forgive myself, but I also included in that treatment anything in me that did or would say something unkind. And whatever unconscious belief in me that would motivate such a comment is by this word erased, evaporated, vanished, dissolved. I am not that person. I am for love, all good. And so I am a blessing to myself, to my world, and to everyone in it. And so I handled this scenario. I handled this shift in my thinking that got me from joy to disturbance. I handled it with my spiritual practice, and I was able to then reflect upon my wonderful life again. It was a long ride home, so I had lots of time. And so I'm driving home, and for another good 5-10 minutes, I'm really enjoying the drive. I'm really thinking about my wonderful life and the wonderful people in it, and the wonderful things that are happening to everyone, including me, and all the wonderful things that are going to happen in the future. And then I noticed it seemed like I had a little zit that I found on my face. Some little girl, I'm driving, so I couldn't like really look and see what is this, but some sort of little thing popped out on my face. It could have been there all day. It could have been there all week. Who knows what I'm even talking about? I don't know. I'm driving, but I just noticed something. There's something there. What is that? And all of a sudden, I'm thinking about how I look, and this little teeny weeny little imperfection, and all the joy is gone again. And the thing is, that little tiny little bump or whatever it is, whatever it was real. It was fact. But I noticed it. The noticing of it was my thought. And so again, moving from this thought of boundless joy and delight and gratitude to, and what's this? Don't look there, what that is. But that's another way our unconscious is not in agreement with our conscious choice to know peace, inner peace. Not just my conscious mind thinking, but my dreams, those beliefs that are in opposition to perfect peace. They've all got to go. They got to get cleaned out. So I did another stop. I do not believe in lies. I believe in the truth. And the truth is God. And God is all good. And all good is who I am. Because that's all I or anyone could ever be. And so I did another spiritual mind treatment, and I was able to sail to my final destination and begin preparing for speaking with you. And so this peace that we are hopeful for in the world, what if it required us to be always in peace within ourselves? And that peace on all levels, mentally, thought versus thought, but emotionally, physically, and in our circumstances. This peace, we want to embody it 100% all our thoughts, all the things that can attract our attention, all of it. We want to bring it all into that harmonious whole of that divine presence, that wonderful commandment. I am the Lord thy God. That means I am. Number one, the all in all, God, the all good, not mixed with evil of any kind. Thou shalt have no other gods before me, no lies. These false beliefs that disturb that peace in us are all, every one of them, lies, false beliefs. Even the facts can reflect and show the lies that we believe in. So, world peace begins with me in that car, in that moment, that choice, that awareness. Whoa, wait a minute, you were in peace and now you're disturbed, you're upset, you're distraught. No, I don't believe that. I choose peace. For it is written, the truth shall set ye free. Ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall set ye free. So I determined to know the truth. Got some mileage out of it. Got able to drive a little bit farther. And then, boom, another physical disturbance arose in my world. But I tackled that. Well, having said all that, a good friend of mine years ago made a little gift for me, and I've kept it in my kitchen all these years. I don't think you can read it. I don't know whether everything, whatever. But you've probably heard this. It's from the Bible, but she did a beautiful artwork with it. Whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent and praiseworthy, think about such things. You know, you've had that experience too. When you think about such things, you do discover peace, serenity. It's within us. Nothing has to happen outside of us. It all has to happen within us, and we do. Each one of us has the ability to turn the tide of our thinking. Maybe for 5 minutes, maybe for a nanosecond, but with practice and with determination and with spiritual practice and claiming it, we can become more and more peaceful within our own heart. And then we are bringing peace to our world and maybe the whole world. But that's not our business to figure out. That's being done for us. So that's our little lesson for today, and please let me know your thoughts, your thinking about it, and I will conclude with a spiritual mind treatment for each one of us, including me, to know this perfect peace. So, this word is being spoken for each one. The peace of the infinite mind that knows I am that I am. That infinite mind that has that peace that knows, let there be light, and there was light, and it declares it is good. This peace, this divine consciousness is right where each one is. And right where each one is, this train of divine thought is present, is in existence, is there to be turned to be contemplated at any point, no matter what one may be thinking, regardless of any sort of situation in the world or within oneself, mentally, physically, emotionally, or outwardly, in spirit. This infinite mind is knowing all is good, all is well. Love and beauty and goodness is omnipresent. And as each one turns to hearing these words of truth that are there within each one experiences greater peace of mind, heart, soul, body, and circumstances, more peace than he or she has ever known before. I am grateful that this is truth, the truth that sets each one free. And so I release this word to God's almighty law, knowing it is done and done very well. And so it is. And that is the way it is. So have a wonderful day, and I'll be seeing you again next Sunday. Bye-bye.